Jamaica needs a strong opposition right now, but the PNP continues to shoot itself in the foot, continues to score own goals. You see, what is happening is that Andrew is playing chess, Marka play checkers. What do I mean? Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Dion Jackson-Miller. Time for tea. Just a quick reminder, reach out now, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not yet a subscriber. The channel is growing like crazy. In less than a year and a half, we have over 43,000 subscribers. We're closing in on 45,000. Hope to hit that 50,000 mark pretty soon. So thank you all so much. Really appreciate you. All right. Now, Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie said something at a recent press briefing that I've been planning to do a video about, which is the opposition's response to the Hurricane Melissa relief effort.
There's a committee that was established in Parliament. The opposition refused to sit on that committee.
Just to say, the minister was answering a question I asked about establishing a national independent oversight committee, and I said in a previous video that a parliamentary committee isn't the same thing, can't do the same work, because a parliamentary committee is only going to have parliamentarians on it. This national committee, you could bring in a whole heap of other experts to sit on it, like disaster management experts, public health specialists, engineers, and I think that's what we need. But the minister was right when he said the opposition wouldn't join the special parliamentary committee that the Prime Minister wanted to set up. Here's Prime Minister Andrew Holness.
In the COVID pandemic, we established an oversight committee of Parliament to review the work of the Ministry of Health in its operations. We will establish a similar oversight committee of Parliament to review the distribution, welfare, relief operations. I've given a direction to the House Leader to speak with the opposition leader of opposition business to establish that committee, the terms and how it will work. Madam Speaker, it is in the interest of the government to have the highest level of transparency in what we do. There is no victory for JLP communities to have food and PNP communities not. There is no victory, or vice versa. None whatsoever. And therefore, we will put in place every measure to ensure that whatever is given to us and whatever we spend from our budget, fairly done, everybody can see it, and everyone benefits. So as soon as we meet again by the next Parliament, that committee should be in place. A special joint select committee possibly that will look at the operations.
But the opposition said no, not joining that. They said it's not necessary to set up a special joint select committee of Parliament because they said that the work of overseeing the Hurricane Melissa relief work would be done by the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee of Parliament. Here's the leader of opposition business in the House, Philip Paulwell, explaining.
Good afternoon. I'm extremely disappointed with Minister Floyd Green for raising a matter in Parliament yesterday, knowing fully well I had stepped out of the chamber and could not respond. He was disingenuous because he failed to communicate to the Parliament the full extent of the correspondence that was shared. I wrote to him on the 7th of November expressing our view that it was unnecessary for there to be a joint select committee of the Parliament to provide oversight on the expenditures in relation to Hurricane Melissa. It's unnecessary because we already have the PAAC, which is chaired by the opposition, and we would do nothing to undermine that role. I wrote to him again on the 9th, Sunday the 9th of November, providing further clarity on our call for a national body to do general oversight. And that body would comprise not only government and opposition, but the private sector, NGOs, and others. This was not to be a parliamentary group. It was to be a national body outside of Parliament. And that is how we believe you could achieve a united approach.
The PAAC is chaired by an opposition member, right? And this joint select committee the PM was talking about would be chaired by a government member that also was bucking the opposition. I do think that oversight committees are generally better off chaired by opposition members, and that if necessary we should change the standing orders to reflect that, but be that as it may, to say you're not joining, bad move. Bad move. Here are 3 reasons why I'm saying this was a bad move. Number 1, you should accept the invitations to collaborate. Look, why would you refuse an invitation from the Prime Minister to sit on a committee like this? So what you want is a National Independent Oversight Committee. As I said, I've been asking for that as well. You can check out my Hurricane Melissa playlist to see all the different videos I've done on this. But start with what you have. Start with where you are and meet people where they are. You can still agitate for your national committee while sitting on this one. The opposition has been doing whole heap of bawling about how it's being left out of the relief effort, so why turn down an invitation like this? Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Well, yeah, doesn't make sense. Even if this joint select committee is chaired by a government member, opposition members would still be sitting on the committee. They'd be right there. They can ask questions. They can probe. They can make recommendations. They can participate fully. They would have shown a good faith effort to work with the government, right? They'd have the good optics of having accepted an invitation from the Prime Minister. And yes, optics are important, right? It's politics, it's governance. Optics are important. Right now, what it looked like is like the Prime Minister extended a hand and the PNP box it away. It looks like the Prime Minister held out an olive branch and the PNP lick it out of his hand. It looks like the Prime Minister sent out the dove of peace to the PNP and then take slingshot, kill it. I like my metaphors, what can I say? 2, the more oversight we have, the more information we can get about the hurricane relief effort, the better. Now, the PNP's argument, as I said, was that the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee of Parliament would be doing the same thing as this Joint Select Committee. Well, you know, maybe not. Maybe you could have different, more specific terms of reference for the Joint Select Committee. Now, this is what the PAAC does, right? It examines budgetary expenditure of government, it monitors expenditure as it occurs, and it inquires into administration of government to look at hindrances to efficiency and make recommendations to improve public administration. So sure, that definitely covers the hurricane relief work. As I mentioned, the committee had 1 meeting already about that, but maybe the committee that the PM was proposing could have very specific terms of reference to the hurricane and just concentrate on that. In any event, you know, even if they're covering the same kind of ground, I think the more information, the better. You could have different MPs on the 2 different committees, so you have different people asking different questions. Different questions will give you different types of information. I watched the first meeting of the PAAC dealing with hurricane relief. I thought we got a whole heap of really good information out of that. And so what if you have 2 committees meeting? One can meet this week, one can meet the other week. If the 2 of them looking at the hurricane relief effort, it's a massive effort. So there is a whole heap of oversight to do. 3, refusing to sit on the committee was politically stupid. You know what this looks like? PM invites opposition to sit on a committee, opposition refuses. Well, actually, it doesn't look like that. It was like that. And believe me, when I say that it's as far as most people will go, then I'll just sit down and listen to one bag of explanation about duplication of function, duplication of resources, not enough space in parliamentary building for the different committees to meet. They're not going to look at any of that. Them just going here. Prime Minister extended an invitation, opposition said no. And what is now happening is that every time a member of government speaks, they can say, look, we invited the opposition to sit on this committee and they refused. As the local government minister said, it undermines the PNP's credibility in terms of whether they're actually looking out for the national good or they're just mainly concerned about being in the sun, getting their place in the sun and their time to shine as the chair of this committee. On top of all of that, what they've done is to handcraft their very own personalized, custom-made belt for the government to beat them with. You know how first time some parents would have sent them picnic for belt and the picnic know say beating them I go get with the belt where them same one go for? That's what's happening now. The PNP carry the belt go to Andrew and Desmond for them beat them with it. It's just straight up not politically savvy. I think even at this stage, PNP should backtrack and say, hold on, you know something? You want us to sit on this joint select committee? Sure, let's set it up. They can still change their mind. They still should change their mind. The PNP overall need better political strategy because, boy, this is not it. There's also another way in which I think the PNP is scoring own goals. It has to do with Parliament, but another video for that one. All right, gonna leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below, okay? Keep it civil. Like the video, share it with somebody who might be interested, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet subscribed. I am Dion, gone back to my tea.